we've been noodling a lot on.
Would you introduce yourself, please?
I'm Larry Voiles, Director with Arizona Game and Fish Department, and with the Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies Executive Committee. One of the things we've noodled on a lot within the association, of course.
Well, it was an effort to engage fish and wildlife people in an effort to talk about conservation policy, and rely on their experience and their backgrounds as to what works, what doesn't work, and get some ideas. I thought the discussion was wonderful. We had a lot of good input. We had kind of urban input and rural input. We had big city, small city. We had kind of the corn guys versus the cotton guys, but we had good input, and that's really where the Conservation Leadership Partnership is going to be able to form directions on public policy. It's that input of people and their experiences and knowing what works and doesn't work that is going to make the partnership successful. I think we had a great start tonight, and it was a good conversation from a broad range of people and perspectives, and that's going to help us as we start forming our work. One of the biggest things we heard over and over again is the reduction in funding. A lot of the efforts that have been out there in the past, whether it's subsidization of agriculture issues or water things or things, or kind of government to government things, and they are policies that are seeing reduced budgets, reduced capabilities, and therefore a lot of people are concerned about how do you keep a long-term sustainable effort. And by figuring out market-based voluntary approaches that bring the private sector in, you can start generating some capital to look at conservation efforts. That we heard over and over again. The other thing that we heard quite a bit of is how do you sustain? It's a long-term effort. The markets kind of go up and down, they're cyclical. Politics change, you get new legislators and governors and things, and how do you keep that long-term sustainable effort? Because that is what's going to help with endangered species, with efforts to clean up land and water. It's long-term. It doesn't just happen overnight. And I think those were the two main themes that we heard quite a bit from. Well, I think there are two issues that I look for. One is I really appreciate the chance for conservatives to be able to build an environmental platform. Conservatives generally, we've been positioned lately as saying we're just against everything. And as regulations come out, as policies have come out that affect economics, that affect people's lives and business opportunities, we just say, no, we're not going to do anything. And that's really not the case. So what I'm looking forward to are conservatives being able to have a lot of input in a generation of public policy that could be broadly supported by conservation efforts on all political parties and on all economic philosophies, because the conservation is so important of our land and our natural resources that we can't leave it to the political system or whatever. We need to have a broad-based public support and something that conservatives can claim a platform of environmentalism. I think it's important for the conservative side. So that's something that's very important to me. The other issue for me is kind of the one-size-fits-all approach. My effort in the political arena has always been that the best answer you can get is the one that's closest to the problem. And when we see regulations, public policy develop that are saying, well, this will just work all over the country, or this will work in this watershed, or this will work in this air arena, it doesn't work that way. And one of the things that we're finding in our conservations, one of the things we're finding on our conversations is people are very aware that what works here might not work over there, and what works for this species might not work for that one, and how we can generate that public policy again that takes into consideration the local conditions is how you generate public support or the public will to put these policies in place.